Namaste, Shalom, Salam, Satnam. I am the divine Sophia. I'm going to trigger you, especially if you're a Muslim. I have been traveling the world for the last 10 years, activating ley lines so that the true energy and the true coding runs through these ley lines. Now, these ley lines were blocked over many, many lifetimes because these ley lines are energetic forces and coding that tell you the truth and give you the vibration of who you really are. Those of you who don't understand the spiritual context of all of this and the work that I've been doing, I'm going to present it to you in layman terms, because spirituality is the truth of who we really are. Now, across South and Central Asia, millions of people identify themselves through modern political labels: Islamic Republic, nation state, and religious ideology. But history tells a deeper story. One that is going to predate colonial borders, political Islam, and the identity conflicts that we see today. Identity conflicts like what's happening in Palestine, what's happening now in Iran. Now, tonight, I want to explore the true civilizational and spiritual roots of Pakistan and Afghanistan, because that's where I am coming from. And these truths are now resurfacing. The forgotten truths are waking up. And this is because of the work that I've been able to do. At the center of the story lies Bactria. Now, Bactria is an ancient region that once stretched across northern Afghanistan and deep into Central Asia. It wasn't just a territory, it was a civilizational crossroads. It embodied Persian, Iranian cosmology and governance, Zoroastrian spiritual philosophy, later Greek knowledge, science and art, profound Buddhist and Dharmic wisdom. Now, Bactria was known for learning, tolerance, mysticism, and synthesis, a place where spirituality was lived, not enforced. It formed part of the Persian world under the Achaemenid Empire, yet it retained pluralism and local autonomy. Now, religion here was cosmic and philosophical. It wasn't political in the way that we're seeing it today. Now, before Islam, Afghanistan was Bactrian and Persian. It was later a Buddhist heartland, a center of monastic learning and sacred arts. Now, I don't know if you remember in 2001, the Burmese Buddhas were destroyed. These were the tallest Buddhist statues, which stood for over 1,000 years as a reminder of Afghanistan's Buddhist and universalistic past. These were destroyed by the Taliban. Another invasion to make us forget who we are. Now, Islam actually arrived in the 7th century and became part of the cultural fabric, but it was not organic. It was not originally ideological, and it wasn't exclusionary at the beginning. But what we see today is an ancient Islam. It's a modern political region shaped by geopolitics, invasion, and most importantly, collective trauma. So the religion as we see it today is mainly political, and it's made by collective trauma. Pakistan's roots are also just as profound. Now, northern Pakistan, including Abbottabad, where my family come from, was part of Gandhara, once one of the most important Buddhist centers in the ancient world. How do you go from Buddhism to Islam? How? Well, we know, through invasion, through killing, through war. Now, this land held Buddhist universities and monastic complexes, Hindu and Vedic philosophies, Persian administrative and cultural influence, and deep spiritual scholarships. I've been attacked by so many people in my own family, in my own culture, on social media. She doesn't know who she is, because I related to some of the Hindu ideology, I related to some of the Christian, I related to some of the Buddhist. Now it makes sense, because I am Sophia, because my DNA is so sacred and that it woke up. And that awakening led me to travel the world for 10 years to step foot on that land and remember the land in its original vibration. Now, southern Pakistan also reaches further back into the Indus Valley civilization, and that was one of humanity's earliest civilizations. And Islam arrived later, and Pakistan was never originally an Islamic state. It became one because of politics. When the older empires were collapsed due to invasion, colonial forces stepped in. The British Empire in India, Pakistan, and the Afghan borderlands, France, in West Asia and North Africa, and the Russian Empire and later the Soviet Union in Central Asia and Afghanistan. These were your invaders. These were the ones who came in and changed everything. Pakistan was created in 1947 through British partition. As I say that, like, I want to cry because I see people celebrating it. Independence Day, Pakistan, India. It's not independence, it was murder and killing and splitting of brother and sister. This is how deep the program runs that you're celebrating it. This all happened because the colonialism and the partition was a tool to control you. To control. The Islamic Republic emerged not from the ancient wisdom, but from colonial fracture and identity crisis. So my parents came from Abbottabad, which is the north part of Pakistan, and grandparents were from Afghanistan lands. These were Bactrian, Buddhist, Hindu, and Persian. Long before the modern Islamic Republic nations existed, before that identity was thrust upon us. Now, this story isn't unique. My story isn't unique. Millions carried these layered identities with them. Even if the history was erased from the textbooks, because my DNA has awoken, because I've reprogrammed the ley lines back to the original program, you are all waking up and remembering. No one can get away from this awakening. What's happening in Iran today is not rebellion. It's a remembrance. This is going to carry on into Pakistan, in Afghanistan, and further. People are awakening and they are remembering. Your spiritual identity is older than politics. It's more important than politics. My ancestors were philosophers, mystics, and scholars. Religion was once a path to wisdom, not power and control. It was freedom. This awakening isn't about rejecting Islam. It's liberating it from political distortion, reconnecting with the universal spiritual heritage that once defined this land and this planet. Truth does not divide. Truth remembers, and remembrance is the beginning of our freedom. Welcome home. Welcome back to your truth. And welcome back to your power. I love you. Namaste, Shalom, Salam, Satnam.